It's 9:02.
Yeah.
Why aren't you guys? People actually write in. People messages say, "Hey, Varian, what's going on? Why
Well,
aren't
that's
you?"
good because they're
Yeah,
looking forward to the show.
yeah. They look forward to hearing.
They're just hoping they'll get to see the shoe cam.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah.
that's
Is
true.
the
Yeah.
shoe cam showing up? Where is Miss
I don't
Alba?
believe so. No, she's been going through it today.
Oh, okay.
She's like, oh, my mouth, everything hurts,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
she went out with me earlier. I had some. I got an email that took over my entire day, and I was freaking out. I'll tell you guys about it off the internet, off the air. But
Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
got an email and I was freaking out. It was a good email. It was a good problem to have, but I was
Oh, yeah.
rushing around and trying to make sure that I don't end up with egg on my face.
Mm.
That's
'Cause,
that email you were telling me about, right?
Yeah. Because I don't want egg on my face. So, hello everybody out there. I'm gonna roll the intro and then we'll get right into it because we only got an hour. We only got 1 hour on the show. Here we go.
We'll see.
Greetings, everybody. I'm Varian Grant. I'm here on loan, and I saved 15% by switching my car insurance today. So,
Boom, boom.
yeah, you guys can you should do that. And I'm
that better
looking.
be a paid sponsor.
No, but I'll tell you what. I'm concerned about these. I keep seeing these ads for like Car Shield, and there's another one called Car Protect. And when Ice-T is trying to sell me like an extended warranty, I kind of listen because I'm like, that's
Oh.
Ice-T.
Aren't we all just getting enough of those car warranty spam calls?
Well, yeah. They're like, hey, pay us, and when your car breaks down, we'll pay your bill. And it sounds good in theory, but then you're like, but what happens if my car doesn't break down? Like, what shouldn't I get? Like insurance, shouldn't I get some of that money back when shit doesn't happen? Just a little bit of it.
Just a tad, right?
Yeah, just a little
You
bit.
would think so.
No, they're like, nah, we'll keep it. We'll hang on to this if they keep it.
Well, I own a Chevy, so the last two cars we've got have been the first model years on those particular models. And I am so glad I got an extended warranty. The only problem is it takes them forever to approve it.
Mhm.
So something goes wrong with the car, and the last time, I just went through this a couple months ago, had to rent a car, and then I had that car for 3 freaking weeks while they were getting approval, and then they were chasing down parts, and every time he ran into a problem, my service guy would go, well, COVID.
Oh, wow.
And
I
I'm
remember
like,
that.
oh, geez, dude, come on.
I remember the anger.
It got to the point they couldn't find a freaking part, so I got up online, found the part, called him, found it right off the bat, called him back like 5 minutes later. I got this warehouse over here that's got the part. And he goes, oh, wait a minute. He goes offline, comes back and goes, yeah, we found it. It's coming in. You'll have it.
Oh, yeah, we found it. Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
nice.
Yeah, amazing how that works.
Yeah, of course you found it. Randy, who are you, sir?
I can almost turn my camera on here. Boom. Sorry, my sheet isn't up. But hey, everybody, I'm Randy Zimmerman. I do alternative and independent comics. Been doing it for decades. Printed with Arrow Comics, Caliber Comics, Antarctic Press. Apparently. Anyway, a long time ago. And I've done everything in this business that you can ever imagine, and then some. I've coordinated conventions. I retailed for a long time. And I just love this market and love this art form. I do the Zim Geek channel over on YouTube, and I'm part of the Indie Volt radio network. So, and today I'll be drawing, so I'm probably going to be pretty close to the camera and as we talk.
All right, Randy, what are you working on?
I can show you happily.
Oh, there we go.
Since the idea of the everybody pretty much knows what the book that I'm working on anyway. Can you identify this man? Ooh.
That's yes,
it is.
My boy, Two Wives, Mr. Marston.
Mr. Marston. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
As my wife calls him, my wife has a rap name for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she calls him MC Two Bitches.
Oh,
And
Very, very funny. But I still have to add gray tones to that, and when it is printed, it's going to be very, very small. So,
Cool.
but I am up to the end of the war, writing wise on the story, and I'm now going back and doing the artwork, and I'm currently working on the Wonder Woman portion of the book.
I'm worried about Randy's book because I've been watching a lot of documentaries on comics lately, and the two that I just watched had so much revisionist history in it. They said, "Oh gosh."
Well, see that's part of the fun of the book. See the documentaries that you watch are usually tainted from the side, not of the documentarian as much as the person who's, and I'm being blunt here, it's a geekgasm, so we can talk rough, right? We are TV, DV, LSV, MA, whatever. Right. It's usually the documentarians have a slant to all of these documentaries, and it's usually on the side of whose ass they want to kiss.
Well,
there's a lot of revisionist history out there in a lot of different ways, and it's usually little small points just so that they can tilt it just a little bit over to that way.
I thought I was in Bizarro World last night because they were like, when Miss Marvel premiered, when we released that comic, she was telling her everywhere. It was bonkers. They were talking about her everywhere.
Was that the 616 thing?
No, it's a documentary on the History Network called.
It wasn't even a 616 thing.
Yeah, called Superheroes Decoded. But you know what's messed up is they put a joke in there, and I thought, oh, that's not. Did he get in trouble for that? At the end of this documentary, they're like, it's Stephen Colbert. He's like, what is this? This new character, Ms. Marvel, a Muslim superhero? There can't be any Muslim superheroes. They're on the no-fly list. And it's like, whoa.
I would be surprised that they let him do that too.
Like,
well, that was a Comedy Central program, more than likely, back when they had a little bit more relaxed standards, and it was probably not just as the character was coming in. So
yeah, like he had the first issue in his hand when he said the joke. So.
Yeah, he threw that out there for it to be debunked.
Oh, okay. So it's not like somebody
was talking to go.
Okay. It's actually a comedy show.
Yeah, you can't say it today. We didn't let Daphne and Meredith introduce themselves. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name's Daphne, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I am the artist of the funny animal fantasy comic Tall Tales and the fantasy drama Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, premiering on Kickstarter January 4th, 2021, coming less than 20 days away. So you can check out my work and sign up for updates at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS.com, and at my YouTube channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art.
All right. And I am Meredith Logren. I am the associate editor over at Geek Insider, as well as the executive producer of the Geek Insider podcast. We just got approved for Pandora. We are on Pandora now. So that is really cool. It was a few months. I am also one of the founding 5 of Terraform Comics. So make sure you head over there and sign up for the mail list at terraformcomics.com with this guy. He's on that team. And I've actually going to... I have a Kickstarter that I'm going to be launching on the 29th. So that is for the Compendium of Dread. It's an anthology of dark fiction. It's prose, but a lot of those stories are being scripted out into comic books. So there will be horror comics in the future. And a lot of that Kickstarter is going to pay for art because I don't art. And you people are expensive.
We can be quite expensive.
For luxury items.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we all have poor spending habits too. I don't know if you guys have noticed.
Well,
It's like it's like, hey, I've got some extra money. I'm gonna go blow it.
Bills, what's that?
Yeah.
Well, I understand you have like the refill ink cartridges and things like that, and you have all of these art supplies and things that you have to get. I understand.
The $9 mojitos at Applebee's. They're really big. Those that's also a monthly. We got to go. It's like, you know what? I don't drink at bars because I realize how stupid that is.
Well,
Like,
especially right now.
well, yeah, but even I mean, a strip club is different, but a bar, I wouldn't drink a bar. But I tell you what, I will not draw. What I will not drink at again. A Comic-Con. Never again.
At a Comic-Con.
Yeah, I was at a Comic-Con Wizard World show, and I took my happy ass back there, and they had a bar, and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna get a Long Island." So I walk over, and I'm like, "Get me get a Long Island iced tea," and the guy's like, "Sure," and he's making it and everything, and I pull out $10. I'm gonna drop this 10 in there. See you later. Give him the finger pistols. He made that Long Island, looked at me and said $57. And the cup was little. The cup was little. And I looked at him like, have you lost your rabbit ass mind?
It was probably watered down too.
Yeah.
Wow. What was it, like $10 a shot?
I'm like, I remember asking him, like, why so much? Like,
the top shelf.
Like, yeah, and he was like, he explained something to me about how much each shot cost, and I'm like, I'm not paying for that. I'm not paying for that. You should have told me how much it was before I paid for it. I'm not paying for that. And I took off. Shamefully, I didn't pay for it. I'm sorry, but that was ridiculous.
Yeah. I think you were probably being charged $1 an ice cube too. Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I know convention food is expensive, but come on.
Yeah.
Way back in the early days, alcohol used to be free.
Grant Lincoln says, "What? Yeah. Apparently, you can go to Vegas and get drunk for free damn near, but they keep it flowing down there, which is why Comic-Cons in Vegas aren't wise. I mean, people do them."
Well, they do. I only know of one Comic-Con in Vegas, and it went. And I've heard the story that it went exactly you would expect.
Yeah.
A Comic-Con in Vegas to go.
About the same way the Comic-Con in New Orleans did for me.
Yeah.
I was okay in New Orleans. I was okay, but I was not okay in when I went to Vegas, I was 13 years old, and my mother took me, and my mother said she took me because she just didn't want me to stay in the house. I maintained that I had my father's ticket and she couldn't refund it. That's what my father had passed away by that point. That's what I think. I think she was just, I'll take you. And
but that's to show you how old the story is, because they wouldn't even do that nowadays.
No, yeah.
Transfer names on tickets.
Yeah. So I went to Vegas. I'm 13 years old, and I remember getting there and having a horrible sore throat. When the minute I got off the plane, and everybody wanted to go eat. We stayed at Circus, so they had a big van pick us up and take us to the hotel, and we walk in. They really make you feel good, like they want you there. And here you go, hello guest, how are you? Well, this sore throat was killing me. And my mother said, I'm gonna get you some NyQuil and some sore throat spray. And she walked into this little convenience store. It's a part of the hotel. And she comes out and she's got her eyes are wide. She's like, this bottle was 15. This bottle was 20. You're going to take it. You're going to take it. and I remember taking that medicine. The next morning, I felt a little bit better, but I felt better as we stayed. And keep in mind, I was down there maybe, 2 months after Tupac got killed, so that was still raw. Like, Pac got killed down the street. But the thing was, I remember, and this is why I know I can't do a convention in Vegas. Pretty girls.
Oh.
Circus had, I don't know, to this day, I don't know where they got those girls from. I don't know who they were. I don't know what nationality they were, but they were all 10s. There wasn't a 9 in sight. They were all 10s. and I don't know what costumes they had on them, but I just know that Circus at the time had a arcade / midway section upstairs, and I remember they gave me $60.
Wow.
And I spent that $60 in 3 minutes.
Oof.
Oh, so you got that casino lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah. She got mad at me. My mother got mad. She's like, "How did you spend that money?" I'm like, "Well, how did you spend that money? You spent more than me. Let's see your losses. Let's see what you did." Yeah, I was trying to get that cute girl's number that I'm never going to be able to get, but you were chasing the dream. So I know a convention in Vegas would be horrible. I can't.
It's like holding a convention at Disney World. It is not happening.
Yeah. Trico says, I did okay in New Orleans, also variant. I'm banned from all the petting zoos in Louisiana.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a story behind that.
Yeah. You know, New Orleans was weird, but Florida, we stayed in Orlando, and that was very nice, but expensive.
Yeah.
Expensive. And eating was, and then I didn't know, like, Rob Anderson didn't, well, he told me, but he didn't explain to me that where do you guys want to eat? And I'm looking around, everybody around me worked at Disney World. Everybody, all the artists there, they're like, "Oh, I work at Disney," and they're talking to each other. I'm gonna take this training and that training, and then they said you should go eat at Disney Springs. And I said, "Okay, I'll go eat at Disney." Hey guys, we're going to Disney Springs. And I remember telling Rob, I heard there's a place called Disney Springs you should eat at, and Rob was like, "It's expensive."
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like,
the cast members get discounts. That's why they, you know.
And I'm like, I want to eat at Disney. I want to have a Disney experience.
Oh no.
You got yourself a Disney experience.
All right, yeah, that's for sure.
Oh yes. It was rough. But it was a good meal. It was delicious. I got to hang out with Jax. That was cool. But that was expensive.
Yeah, no, you don't. Yeah, no.
See, you have to listen to the Florida natives and not necessarily the people who work there. You know, they will tell you the good places to eat. I've been to places where it was just this frou-frou 5-star restaurant, and they came out with this little teeny tiny portion. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
You want $50 for that? You know, I'm like, where's the all-you-can-eat buffet? Get out of here.
That's on what International Drive. You have to go there.
I remember loving every bit of being down there, and but it was I was told that you have to go outside of Orlando if you want to find regular pricing.
Well, you have to go outside of the resorts and to get the actual places.
And Miss Lage, I know while we're on this discussing expensive cities.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Because when you mentioned the NyQuil, I was like, wait, what? That's what we pay for here.
Yeah, see, we get 2 bottles for that price. We get the double packs.
We get the one. We get the one. If we're lucky, we get the 2 bottles for $24.
Highest giraffe ass. I can't pay that. You're gonna be sick today. You're gonna be sick. I just can't. Let's see. My friend says, Pops, what the fuck? Varian has hair. Yeah. And it's getting longer every day. Yeah, it's getting. JD says, be prepared to spend bucks at Disney. You have the queen of Disney with you.
Oh.
Daphne, can you put a hurting on us at Disney? Is that what happened?
What? No. It's expensive. There's no economy. You have to. Yeah, it's what I said before. You have to go outside of Orlando and get away from the resorts if you want to eat cheap. Yeah. But if you're on property, forget it. There's no way to economize at all.
One of the guys that we're down with, he was telling me that Disney had actually started using fake names for companies so they can buy up land around there.
Yes, that is true. That's the Reedy Creek. It's the Reedy Creek district.
Yeah,
that's Disney.
And then they took another. They took over some other small little area, and apparently they use eminent domain to do it.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Disney is the largest employer in Orlando. I know in Orlando specifically. So the state pretty much lets them do what they want. You know,
They are the law.
Yeah, exactly. They're their own law. Yeah.
It's funny that we're mentioning this because my son he's just learning about Washington D.C. now and how wacky it is. Like, Dad, it says they can't vote.
Yeah.
And how can you do this to a state? And I said, have you seen what they did to Orlando? They did to the city of Orlando.
It's not a state. It's
it's a district. It's not a state. You have no laws here.
Right.
Yeah. Good old Florida. Good old Florida.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's an aversion to putting more stars on the flag, so they're not looking at if they think that it'll look like aggression if they add more states. So, I mean, with the rest of the world, so they're at 50. They really don't want to go anymore because they've got 5 other outside territories.
Right. Yeah.
Plus the District of Columbia that they could make a state, and Puerto Rico should have been a state ever since they took it over, but they're not doing it.
First of all, I'll tell you right now, they add more stars to that flag. There's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna be upset. However, I remember right after 9/11, they were putting a lot of flags on stores here in Michigan, especially because a lot of our stores here are the party stores, the convenience stores. They're Muslim owned, and so
that happened a lot here too.
And they were people who had American flag stencils were making big money because they spray paint American flag on there for God bless America.
Yeah,
please don't mess up my store, please.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they did. Yeah.
And I remember looking at one flag and something was off about it, and I'm like, hey, this flag only has 30 stars. So I walk in. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I walk in, I told the guys that, hey, what's up with the flag? Your flag only has 30 stars. And I'm like, what states aren't you recognizing? And he freaked out. He, what? Let me go see it. He went out there. Oh yeah, I was causing so much trouble. Yeah.
Well, it's like if we want to do a little Disney trivia to go along with this topic, there is only one flag in Magic Kingdom that has all 50 stars on them. And it's the flag in the center when you walk in right before you hit Main Street. And all the other flags, every other flag has a star missing, because according to I guess like flag etiquette, a proper flag needs to be treated with a certain level of respect. It has to be taken down every night. You have to have lighting on it. It has to be taken care of. But if a star is missing or a stripe is missing, it's technically not an American flag. So you don't have to follow any etiquette with that. Yeah.
Did you guys know? And they'd be like, is this a Geekgasm or is this Geekgasm?
Yeah, I know, right? Where's the sexy?
Did you guys know that Georgia has an invisible county?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Dade County. They so much so they left off the quarter. They cut it off the quarter because they seceded from the Union and apparently didn't join back up until 1945.
So they missed out.
Yeah. Also, something funny, funnier than that, in Ohio, one of the first colonies to become a state in the particular coast, never had the proper paperwork. They didn't get it until years and years and years, decades later, when they want to celebrate their bicentennial or something, like 150 years, I think it was, and they didn't have the proper paperwork. So the president had to actually fill it out. And I'm like, you see, Ohio was a mistake. It was not supposed to. I'm mean. I'm very mean, but I do.
Yeah. We're upset. Yeah, it's like we're upsetting the listeners.
Yeah,
because it's like it's sexy state trivia.
Yeah.
Straight trivia time, folks. Welcome to Geekgasm.
Since we're going to comic books, this is actually for you guys, and you guys tell me how you feel about this.
Okay.
This is from and this is from Raph. Yeah, I guess it's Raphael. My favorite turtle. He says, "Hey, do you guys remember this sexy swimsuit catalogs and comics they used to sell in Marvel and DC books, especially Marvel? Whatever happened to those? Are they a victim of SJW justice? Did you ever own any? And would you be opposed to seeing them come back?" Thanks, Raphael, for your question. I remember those. I
Yeah,
never
I
ordered
remember
one.
those too.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the a lot of the independent magazines at the time did like swimsuit issues. I mean, it was like a trend at the time. So I think that if we're not seeing them, it's because it just fell out of favor. But you know, that even Sports Illustrated is not really that big of a thing anymore. So
Well, that's why they did them, was because the Sports Illustrated swimsuit
yeah,
issue was super popular at the time.
yeah.
So they wanted to cut in on top of that.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, because it's like those were event issues.
Yeah.
You know, sport, like it was announced everywhere when Sports Illustrated was coming out with the swimsuit issue and who was in it and this, that, and the other thing. Now you can get porn for free online, so who cares, right?
Yeah, Sarah says, Varian, Randy, Meredith, and Daphne. Hello,
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 Sarah.
Sarah.
Hello.
Good morning or good evening. Yeah, I think I'm certain that there's a marketplace for that, because it's just sex sells that,
Well,
and when I'm looking at what I'm seeing a lot of times with the indies, especially with the TNA kind of comics and stuff like that, I'm seeing a lot of like cosplay covers, so why not have something like that? I mean, it kind of makes sense if you're leaning towards that market anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So. I think a little fan service never hurt anybody. But I don't think anybody's making whole comics dedicated to it. Would it be kind of cool to see nowadays? Sure. But
there's one person that does do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I see him on Kickstarter all the time doing these types of TNA comics, and he's very unapologetic about it. It's called Pharaoh's Lounge, Faro lounge, as in like lounge chair. And he's constantly doing these types of like TNA books, and and he does. And the thing is, though, it's like the artist that he gets is like really top notch, and he does like kind of like fan parody, like fandom parody covers, like crossovers. Like he has a thing for Jessica Rabbit, so he had an entire series of covers that was Jessica Rabbit as different comic book characters.
But why not something like that for like variant covers or something?
But a lot of people do that. I mean,
I don't know if they've ever done a cosplay variant month. I wish they.
Oh yeah, Marvel did. Marvel
did.
They?
Did they?
Marvel, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. They did. Yeah.
The complete disaster.
Wow.
Going for you, Daphne, from Indie Vote Radio.
Oh, okay. Going for me. Okay.
Yeah, and
come at me, bro.
this was from Felicia. Don't tell her bye though.
Okay.
And this is for Daphne. Which is, for Miss Lage.
Okay.
Do you consider Batman and Catwoman furries?
Unfortunately, no. wearing unless I drew them.
I could see that.
Then they would be furry, but as they are, no.
Yeah, they're close to it though. They're close to furries.
They're more like it would be more akin, I think, to more like pony play and pet play than actual furries.
Man Bat, on the other hand, whole different.
Oh, it technically is a furry. Yes, is a furry.
Whole different deal.
Yeah.
Meredith, what do you think? Are they furries?
Oh no.
No.
They're barely superheroes.
Well, that's
Batman's like we have to be upside down when we do this, Selena. Oh, this is weird. It is deranged. That's the problem.
Wasn't that on the news about Batman becoming a bad guy?
I'm not sure.
No, you missed that. It was a black guy.
Yeah.
No.
Same thing in certain places. Same thing.
No, I didn't say that.
Batman just stole my TV.
No.
That's been the big news lately. They're changing his skin colors.
I can say it. They can get mad at me. I don't care. I can imagine that shit. I would like to make that superhero. Just goes around the city and steals your TV. That'd be awesome. He's the worst criminal. He breaks in your house, steals your shit. He might stop a crime, but he's like on the way out, like, oh, take this video game. I've been wanting to play this. This is see you guys later.
That's kind of along the same lines of Guano Guy, isn't it?
I was about to say, yeah, it's like, wait a minute.
Batman is though. He is fighting against the cops now, though. Meredith, that might be what you're seeing. He's fighting against the cops for criminals because some of the cops have been getting a little aggressive. And I'm like, do you know how much fucking inner head trauma you've caused?
Yeah, no, for real. It's like, wait a minute. Batman is all of a sudden concerned about the physical welfare of the common criminal. Really?
Yeah.
Mr. Concussion?
Yeah. Do you know how many people they got a ward? I'm pretty sure they got a ward in the hospital for Batman injuries, you know.
Yeah, for real, you know.
The only person more malicious, I mean, I'm not counting Punisher because he kills.
No, he's not. But also, he's not a superhero either.
Right.
And I don't think he pretends to be one, but you know.
The only person a little more malicious than him, I'm gonna say, is Daredevil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Daredevil,
my God.
Daredevil.
I hate that character so much.
Daredevil has put people, I'm convinced, in comas.
Yeah. But my Catholic guilt keeps me from killing people. It's like, hello. You've just, it's like this guy's going to be on disability for the rest of his life.
Yeah. He was a criminal. He stole a hot dog. He stole a hot dog cart. Now he can't walk.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, but I didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Oh. At least the Punisher is honest about his intentions.
Yeah, Punisher just blows you up. I shot him. He's dead. How long ago did DC and Marvel do those catalogs? It was like the 90s.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, the 90s. You could probably look as late as like 89 to like 97. I think is around the time that I kind of stopped seeing them. But yeah.
They were into the Gemus age. They ran until the early 2000s.
Did they?
Yeah.
I by that point I probably discovered actual porn.
Yeah, you see that's the thing. You know, that's look, even Playboy couldn't survive. You know, I mean, really. So
yeah. I knew I could turn to a channel on the cable box and see a little pixelated boobie like.
Right, exactly.
Hey, look at that. It was very
it's like, back in the day when it's like, you had the snow and you're like squinting, trying to get like a magic eye effect.
I seen another question just come in from Indie Vote Radio. By the way, thank you, Indie Vote Radio listeners. Right now, sitting at 47,888. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Egypt's listening. Peru. Is that Peru? We have Peru, and I believe it or not, we got Ireland back in there, which I appreciate. I always love having Ireland in that. Let's see. Hold on. How crazy is that? I remember when we were kids saying I only read Playboy for the articles was a joke. Now it's reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that I used to say I'm gonna get. I got a Playboy subscription like 3 or 4 years ago. I remember flipping through it and I'm like, what is this crap? Look at her. She's not. Ugh, I can see better than this on for free. What is this? And then I started reading the articles. I'm like, this is a damn fine crafted article. This is interesting. And I remember reading, getting really involved in the articles. Like,
you really do read this magazine.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they do it like the newspaper.
Hugh Hefner was a genius when it came to that.
Yeah, and they don't do it like the regular articles, like papers. They'll be like, here's the article, here's the whole thing. Playboy will stop and tell you go to the back of the magazine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whereas other magazines just do it trade. We had a magazine.
page 37.
Yeah, we had a magazine here called Extreme Detroit. This guy started, and he would get local girls to come and pose, not nude. It was a free magazine. He kind of like what Randy did, but supposed to be advertiser supported.
And I should say that I believe that in that paper there was a strip there for a little while about an angry little monkey named Spank.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
I remember picking up that magazine because, you know, that guy was a genius. He got those girls down to as little as he possibly could and shot those photos.
Mm-hmm.
I could, you know, I would get those and like, you know, for artistic research, of course.
Look, you know what? JD went to film school. And when JD went to film school, everybody around him ended up going to film school. So let me tell you something. In film school, you learn really quickly. It doesn't take much to get chicks to strip down to their panties if you have a camera in front of you and you're saying, yo, dude, I'm making a movie. I was so unimpressed after that entire experience, because really, it was just like every dude in his class, for some reason, had to make a student film with a shower scene in it. And they always found chicks lining up to be in their movie.
Yep.
So no, don't be too impressed by that.
Yeah.
Sure, they didn't mind much.
Yeah. Don't be too impressed.
I worked with a guy who was doing films, and I remember we had this young lady who she's filming in my house, and I went to go ask her a question, and I knocked on the bathroom door, and she opened the door in her bra and panties. She's like, "Yeah," and I'm like,
Wow, you're all friendly around here, aren't you?
yeah. I'm like, yeah.
I was going to tell you.
Yeah, I was like, forgot what I was coming to tell you. Gonna go back and find out what that was, and be back, and hopefully we'll have some clothes on.
It's like your pizza delivery guy that met Krista at the door.
Oh yeah. I think when I first started dating Krista, I ordered Domino's, and I had all these free points. I ordered like 2 pizzas and some lava cakes and a 2-liter pop, and it came, and she went to the door to get it. Well, you know, she wears a lot of tank tops,
Right,
and
yeah.
she went to the door, and I remember hearing pop, boom, 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 boom. And the guy's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." He dropped the pizzas, the lava cakes too. They exploded. The pizza was stuck on the top of the box. The pop went rolling down the stairs. It was all shook up, and
Took the guy forever to get his eyes back in his head.
yeah. I was so mad. I was so mad.
It's like, you know what? It's like, you know what, guys. It's like, it's like, you know, just speaking generally here, but it's like, you know, you can't go without seeing titties for 5 minutes, and then the second you see titties, it's like you've never seen them before.
It's not a big mystery.
You know,
It's not.
Yeah, but you're not guys.
Lola describes it
Oh, but I remember those days. I do.
Lola describes it so eloquently. I don't even. Sometimes I'm like, oh. And she's like, "You know what tits are?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "They're balls for your chest." And I'm like, okay, I'm good. I just, sweaty. And I just think about sweaty
Without the hair.
Yeah. And like, balls for your chest. I don't, don't like that idea. They're soft pillows. They're not. No. Russell Allen says, "Hey guys, Sarah says people want to do movies are a dime a dozen."
Yeah, and they lose all sense of sense. It's like when you got a camera, it's like, oh, you know, I'm a photographer and I need a model.
Oh, they try it at cons all the time.
Everything's
Yeah,
artistic.
I know.
Yeah.
They try it at cons. Like, "Hey baby, how you doing?" I remember seeing guys. "Hey, listen, here's my car."
Yeah.
I'm a photographer. I just picked up this camera 2 minutes ago from Best Buy, but here to get some nudes. So check this out.
JD says we're all trying to get back to where we started.
I started in the nude. I did. I started in the nude. I'm trying to get back there. I'm gonna be in nudist one day. From Indie Book Radio. And this is gonna get Meredith and Daphne really super pissed, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know who's gonna get pissed first, but
all right, go Pierce.
this one here is from Rachel, no relation to Mr. Zimmerman, who says, she says, me and my friends, 2 females, we are starting a all-female comic book company. We intend to have comics that are about strong, powerful females without being too preachy. The only problem is we've run into haters, both male and female, who think that what we're doing is pandering and stupid and classist. What do you guys think?
Classist. Okay. All right.
They are only allowing females. There's no males in the company whatsoever. That might be illegal later on. That might be, once you guys form LLC, that might become illegal. I don't know. I'm not sure. Check your state laws.
Yeah, technically that would be.
Yep.
But just so you know, once you become an LLC or something, that might be illegal. But you know, it's up to you. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's good. If you guys got a unique voice, unique stories to tell, go ahead.
Right. Yeah. I mean, in the end, it's like, me personally, I hate the phrase "strong female character," because I like them. I like them messy. So it's like because usually the term whenever I hear people say strong female character, they just end up creating a character that is just like so devoid of everything else but just being a strong female character.
That's not a strong female character.
She's bouncing on Randy's head, though.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You're saying they create Mary Sue's.
Well, you see, because the thing is, though, like the term Mary Sue is for people who don't know, it is a term that originated with fanfic, and it refers to mostly a self-insert, author insert that stops the story. That it's like that, she's so perfect, but she doesn't really do anything to the story except appear for everybody to fawn on her for some reason. But that's technically neither here nor there. But the thing is, though, strong female character, it's like it's like she's just like, sometimes it's just literally an honorary man. kind of like how I felt about Captain Marvel, the movie. It's like I kind of got it kind of rankled me whenever I would see that, as clips from that movie, because it's like she's an honorary man. What's the point? And the thing is, though, and then it's like it's a caricature. So if they have something interesting to tell, a story to tell, they should go ahead and tell it. But the thing is, though, is that just because you're an all-female crew doesn't mean you're going to be good at that.
Well, and go ahead, Meredith.
Yeah, I was going to say, kind of piggybacking off of what Daphne said, is just because it's a strong female character, a lot of people have that perception that maybe she's butch or a bitch. Yeah. You can't have a strong person who's God forbid if she's messy and stuff like that. We're in real life and stuff.
Right.
God forbid if we put something out that's kind of real, put her in spandex and have her kick somebody else's ass, somebody who's 90 pounds is going to take down a 250-pound guy. I don't like those. Yeah. I really don't. Yeah. But why is it then that people who, whether you're a business person or whether you're creating these characters, you have a strong female character, you are a strong woman, and that aggressiveness is turned around. For a guy, it's okay. It's like, oh, he's out there and he's doing it. He's hustling. For a woman, oh no, she's a bitch.
Yeah.
I will say this too. That company. Look, I've been in rooms full of women. I was on a 4-hour trip with a bunch of women and young women. And by the time that 4-hour trip was over, they all hated each other. I'm just telling you, watch your company. It's whew. You might want to throw a guy in there just to help diffuse some of the tension. I'm not sure. Or
okay, so what's it like to be in a room full of alpha guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty chummy if you throw a woman in there. Then we all like her. We're all trying to impress her, like, yeah, how you doing?
Well, as JD would put it, guys can like beat the shit out of each other and then buy each other a beer right afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
While
And
women
I've seen that happen.
will hold grudges for decades.
Decades.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still waiting for like some of my wife's enemies to try to bang me. I'm waiting. I'm like, that girl doesn't really like you. She's gonna try to bang me.
Oh, brother.
See, and Sarah has a really good comment here. As opposed to weak female characters, no one writes weak female characters. What would be the point? To be rescued, then go away?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, there are damsels in distress, but and I think that can kind of be tied into a messy story as well.
Mhm.
But she can't be totally helpless.
No,
It's like those freaking horror movies. The girls are they're helpless, they're screaming, and they're running in high heels. Come on,
Unless you're being chased by a T-Rex, and all of a sudden they can book it.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say, Randy? He said, yes,
the damsel in distress is really a convenience of the movie era in the 50s, where they tried to degrade women and stick them back in the home.
Mm-hmm.
You go back on some of those early Lois Lanes, especially in the Golden Age Superman, she ain't in distress. She gets into trouble, yes, and gets in over her head occasionally, but it's not a constant trope. But she's very able to take care of herself. In fact, there's an awesome story back during that era where she ends up it turned into kind of an imaginary type story where she got Superman's powers and just mopped the floor up with everybody. It was the damsel in distress, like I said, turned into a trope really bad. The Perils of Pauline was part of that, but the Perils of Pauline, she kept getting herself out on a lot of those problems in the serial. She'd get into a cliffhanger and then she'd get herself out. There's it just became such a lousy trope, an easy thing for everybody to lean back on later on. But a lot of the earlier days, a lot of the earlier material, the stuff that, in fact, like the movies that were done before the Hayes office kicked in, are amazing pieces of work that were a lot more open, a lot more well written, and a lot more diverse than what a lot of people want to say. A lot of that came in afterwards. Same thing with the comic code. Once the comic code kicked in, Kanninger kind of did that to Wonder Woman pretty hard back when he took over the strip in 47. But Lois Lane didn't really get into that damsel in distress type situation, except for in the Fleischer cartoons, and the TV show had her get that way every once in a while, but she was still pretty forceful then. She had a career. Not a lot of women had careers during that period.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not quite a in distress type person.
Lola wanted. Go ahead, Meredith.
I was going to say, I wanted to ask Daphne then, because I agree with you. Strong female character is so tired and it's so lazy. Overused. And it is. Yeah. It's exactly lazy. How would you describe it then?
Just a female character. I mean, you don't go around describing guys as strong guy characters.
True.
So it would just be, it's like, oh, here's a female lead, and let the story go where it goes. Because the second you tell me strong female character, I'm already suspicious about your writing. Mm-hmm. because when you tell me strong female character, what you're telling me is that you want me to take your word for it. And then it's like, okay, well, I explained it to you. It's a strong female character. And then that's it. Like,
plus when you say that, I write a strong female character, that automatically makes you think that you think every other female character out there is kind of weak.
Exactly. You know, it's like, oh, I'm not like the other girls.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, I hope not, because every one of us is different.
Lola asked me to play this just to rile you guys up.
Okay, go ahead.
Just to rile you guys up. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna mute my headphones. So here we go.
Okay.
Dad, it's funny.
What's funny?
Well, whenever we cook inside, Mom always does the cooking. But whenever we cook outside, you always do it. How come?
Well, it's sort of traditional, I guess. You know, they say a woman's place is in the home, and I suppose as long as she's in the home, she might as well be in the kitchen.
Again, that's that 50 mentality kind of.
Hey, you can.
Yes, it's like when we're in the kitchen with access to sharp, pointy things and rat poison.
Yeah. It's like, what
You didn't want that in your. You didn't want that rat poison in your coffee, did you?
It's
But that same, maybe not that episode, but Leave It to Beaver also had that classic scene in the kitchen where Ward comes walking in and June looks at him a little despairingly and tells him that he was a little tough on the beaver last night. To put him in his place.
I hope so.
You know, Ward, you were a little tough on the beaver last night.
That's horrible. That's horrible. I do think though that since
I mean, if you're gonna pull that clip up out of context, come on,
you got to.
let's do it all.
Yeah, you a little.
You can go back in and see some of the stuff Eddie Haskell used to say during that show.
Yeah.
Well, you know, something like the Honeymooners, for example. You never saw Alice go out for a job or anything, but you never saw her really in the kitchen either.
Right, exactly.
And I love that character.
That was a Brooklyn thing.
I was going to say they were kind of in a one room apartment. So if you looked over in the corner, there's the ice box and the stove. Yeah.
Yeah, they never really, the Honeymooners never really showed the bedroom, did they? They ever show the bedroom?
No, it was really a one stage play more than anything. Yeah. Very rarely did they get off of that set.
I loved her character though.
Yeah.
Because it was she was just, I mean, she was like so many women that I know. You know, sarcastic, pushed back, you know, and my father basically took on like the Jackie Gleason whole, you know, pow zoom at home, that, you know, that was my dad, and my mother was just like whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I remember, you know, it's funny because, you know, me and my wife have a shorthand. You know, after 10 years of being together, you just, you know, develop these little, you know, little I know, like, for instance, I know when I've gone too far, which is, you know, I have a wide breath, by the way. I can totally, I test the boundaries of my marriage every day, but I feel like I do it from vagina and tits.
Yeah, no, that's the problem with that. That's what you know, you end up with, and it's like,
they're always perfect. They're always
perfect.
They're
always perfect. They're always stoic. They're always angry. It's like they're never.
Nothing wrong with being stoic. It's just that every well written character has their flaws, no matter what.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
I remember people getting mad at Black Widow in the second Avengers when she got kidnapped, and I'm like, and the guys had to come and save her, and I'm like, okay, I can understand you getting mad about that. I kind of agreed that but I always kind of thought too, maybe she allowed herself to get kidnapped so they could find where Ultron was hiding, but
yeah. I was going to say that scene in Avengers 1 where she allowed herself to get kidnapped and, you know, gets the phone as she's tied up to a chair. Says, hey, well, I'm working here.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, it's funny. It's like there was a lot of people got mad at the fact that her not being able to get pregnant was an issue. And people, and it's like, and I saw a lot of people online saying, it's like, oh, it's like, that's ridiculous and blah, blah, blah. How could she do it? It's like, honey, I know plenty of women who are like that, who get like, that's an issue. Yeah. Why wouldn't it be an issue? Why would it be different for her?
Not only that, but if you go back and look at history and a lot of the female warriors, you know, like the Amazons or the Spartan women used to cut one of their breasts off so that the bow doesn't smack into it and get in the way. The Russians they explain that in the film, I'm pretty sure. If not, they'll do it in the Black Widow movie. The Russians literally were creating a group of super soldiers that were female, and making them sterile was part of the deal, so that they don't have that. They don't have to worry about that, or they don't have that mental problem, though it was a mental problem.
Right. Yeah.
Because they had that need for a family.
Right.
You know, or the thought that they couldn't have one.
Yeah, I you know, but didn't that gave her character a layer?
I thought it did. I thought it did.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. And then, like, when these characters, if the characters seem to have, well, she can't have babies, and that makes you cheated that character. Give these characters something that's not pleasant. Give them entanglements. Give them, problems that they can't solve in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Or that they know they can't solve at all. It adds to that building of that character.
I know I've said I've watched it a lot, but I'm still watching. I'm going, like, me and the wife watch maybe 3 or 4 episodes a night of Law and Order, and then the next morning everybody's sus. But
yeah, pretty much.
but the thing is, Olivia Benson, her character on there, she's so conflicted and so not perfect. It's one of the most interesting female characters I've seen, because she's hypocritical. She's
right. Yeah.
She's done things that she swore she'd never do, and I love that about the character. I love that they've, Now, Randy, we talked about this before. Captain Marvel being a character that had been, she got raped by an alien.
Talk about lazy storytelling.
Yeah,
there are a couple of tropes that every time I see it, it's like, oh, you goddamn lazy ass. It's like, and honestly, it's and it's such a pet peeve of mine. And it's like two of them that the second I see it, it's like, oh, it tells me the writer had no idea what to do with this character. It's like either the character gets pregnant or the character gets raped. Mm-hmm. And in and of itself, if you're a talented writer, I've seen people do really, really good stories with those two tropes.
Yes.
But 99% of the time, it's just someone not knowing what to do with their character, do it with a female character, and they go, oh, these are the two things that are traumatic that I could do to this character. And that's it. I don't even know what you're talking about, but I know about this trope.
Yeah.
This is them conveniently ignoring continuity is their problem. Yeah. Because Claremont did the best thing with Carol Danvers when he turned her into binary and shot her off into space. All your problems are solved. You have ultimate power. You're out there. See ya. But that Carol Danvers as a character was not only raped by an alien, but the alien that raped her impregnated her. Then she had a baby, and the baby grew up and then raped her again.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
But that's the thing. There's good storytelling has conflict and resolution, and it doesn't have to be those two things. There's so much more in this world and other worlds.
And that was pointed out harshly at Marvel. And I believe Jim Shooter was under that tenure, and he got rid of the character. That's when Claremont did the best thing he could with her, is give her ultimate power, and then had her go off and explore space. Gone, see you, bye. But it was the idiots at Marvel in the current echelon that grabbed onto Carol Danvers because she was Ms. Marvel, and decided to completely ignore that continuity and turned her into the character that's out there, the one-dimensional character that's out there now.
JD said trans-dimensional entity, not an alien. But so basically she got raped by her own kid.
Still an alien.
She got raped by her own kid, basically. And then married him. And the Avengers sat back and
ran off with him in love, yeah.
And the Avengers was like, yeah, cool.
And then she came back, I believe, Avengers, Giant Size Avengers 10, if I'm not mistaken, came back and accused all of the Avengers for letting her get raped.
Well, they kind of deserve that one.
They were all, what? Well, really? What are you talking about?
It's lazy. Nice to know that shitty Marvel stories is not a recent thing.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they've had their stumbling blocks.
Listen, I'm...
But again, that character would have been much better serviced under a different entity than to pop her back out and, hi, I'm back as Captain Marvel. It's like, no, you're
lazy.
Grant says women are definitely better at writing men than men are at writing women. Men don't know what's going on in there. Although I gotta say, I wrote a lot of female characters when I was younger, and I found it fascinating because I had, my mother adopted 2 girls who came from a vastly different world than I did. So I was always asking them questions, and I think I do it to everyone that I know. I ask them questions. Well, what do you think about this? And just to get that difference of opinion.
Yeah.
But
Grant, I don't think that holds up because I think it depends upon your talent level.
Yeah, I think so too.
And it doesn't matter on your gender. Women might seem that way a little bit more to you because they tend to be more empathetic than most, not all, most males. If you line them all up, you're going to have an there'll be more women that are empathetic than there are men. If you have the same amount of men, typical men and women in the room. And because of that empathy, which is not difficult to get to train yourself to have or to attain, that empathy is what helps you write that character, because being empathetic to the character gets you inside of their head. And that's why it may seem to you that more women can write men better than they can. Well, men are real. If you really look at it, men are pretty simple creatures anyway, compared to women.
I don't know. I find writing men difficult. I mean,
it's not as you're probably overthinking the problem then.
Probably.
I love writing in a man's POV. I do.
I just love first person, talk where somebody's explaining what they're doing to the audience while he's out there doing it. So nothing like a good Ferris Bueller or Deadpool fourth wall break. That I like. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. Oh, you're still here? Go away.
I do like that, and I haven't tried writing anything with that. It does seem very interesting, though, to really get in touch and reach out and grab your audience.
I've written a couple of assassin stories. There's a awesome anime out there that's called Golgo 13.
Oh yeah,
that's The Professional. That's the main character is an assassin that makes no mistakes, and he goes over again and again to sometimes the situation goes pear-shaped on him, but most of the time he's in complete control. If you ever want to see a great female character like that, sit and read the Modesty Blaze comic strip, because Modesty Blaze, I wish they would adapt that to a movie or to a TV series, because she is an amazing character. And yes, she had a rough childhood. She's slight Asian, but she's got a guy that is kind of her number one. And the two of them go around on missions that they have completely mapped out to the smallest detail before they start performing it. And it always ends up going her way. And that doesn't necessarily make her a Mary Sue, because she's that well written. It's just that great of a character. And it's Modesty Blaze. They were talking about, it's one of those properties that goes in and out of production constantly. For movies, because if somebody does do it finally, it's just a super well done, strong female character. Comes out of England. It was a comic strip for years over there. They sell phenomenal collections, Titan, and there's been like 3 or 4 different sets of collections of that strip out there. But I love that strip, and it's not because it's a strong female character as much as it is just such a well-written character. Both of the two leads are so well written. The situations are so well thought out, and it's just a superior piece of craftsmanship. And it's incredibly well drawn as well.
And this is one of the last questions we can get around to. And this one is, I guess it's from Rachel, who's listening. Rachel says, I hear the term in comics, I hear the term in comics, feminist icon, get thrown around a lot and latched onto a lot of female characters, some of which never should have been labeled that. What do you guys think? She says she's heard that Jean Grey has been called a feminist icon. She's heard Storm's been called a feminist icon. I think that
the main character from Gone Girl has been called a feminist icon. So yeah,
and
the
that's
phrase
not good.
itself is very sus.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we put those labels onto those characters rather than that character being created for that purpose.
Yeah, I was listening to an interview that you had turned me on to the other yesterday, and they were pointing out how Invisible Girl, when she was first created, was a feminist icon. It's like, no, she wasn't. No, that is not how that works, buddy.
It's this desperation to pigeonhole characters into something that they can project onto, as opposed to like, I don't know, just they're I mean, it's like there really does come a point where it's like, you're really investing way too much into cartoon characters.
Well, it's in the same category as the damsel in distress trope. Feminist icon. In my mind, if you were to ask me, there's only one real feminist icon out there in comics, and that was the original, not the current, the original Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
That Marston did, because he intentionally created her to be a feminist icon. There are some really strong, well-written females out there. There are some goofy, finger in the cheek and goofball, horribly done females out there. And there were some females that were written and done in their time that some people can misconstrue as being representative of the feminine, of being a feminist icon of the day, but they really don't match up to that. They're just strong, sometimes incredibly well-written female characters.
Right.
I mean, I think a lot of times I think that is just lazy marketing, very unimaginative. And it's like, okay, well, how can we describe her without turning off the guys? Maybe, I don't. It's just lazy.
It really is.
And they go back and retroactively change stuff too. Like they're saying, I mean, they said, that Wonder Woman is the first superhero or the first comic book character to lead her own movie, female. And I'm like, no, I mean, like there's been others before her. I know she probably doesn't count, but I know we're probably gonna get some groans. But I recall that Barbed Wire movie. Now.
Yeah,
I know. Now, here's the thing. I know Casablanca when I see Casablanca, and that's what that was. But it's like the
Barbed Wire.
Yeah,
I never watched it, but I love Casablanca. So.
Go ahead and watch it if you get a chance. If I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but
I'll have to go.
But here's the funny thing, though. It's like here's the funny thing. At the same time that they would say Wonder Woman is a feminist icon, even though Barbed Wire would be doing the same thing, kicking ass and taking names because she has her titties out. It's like, oh, no, she's not a feminist icon. And it's like, what? Why not?
Tank Girl.
Right. Yeah. Tank Girl. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, that's the part that really, like I said, it's like they called a freaking Psychopath and Gone Girl a feminist icon. So it's like, I question your judgment.
Now, Storm might have been a really good feminist icon if they had bothered to write her correctly and given her her own book way back in the late 70s. What? Even Wonder Woman currently isn't a feminist icon. I wouldn't consider it to be that at all.
Nita says, my favorite balanced female character is Julie Winters. She was nuts. She was sane. She was strong. She was raped. She saved. She needed saving. Yeah. And characters like that, they're too far in between. We don't get a lot of them. Nowadays we're getting perfect characters. It's kind of like the Indiana Jones thing. And that movie would have been the same had Indiana Jones been there or not. Some of these characters is just there. I remember when that was pointed out to me, thanks to Big Bang Theory, that Indiana Jones 1 would have been the same movie even without the character. I was like, oh crap. Oh man. Sarah says, have any of you watched Marvel Jessica Jones? Very accurate of a kick-ass woman who suffers from PTSD and has to focus on her job at hand. Yeah.
That's a woman. Yeah, exactly.
That's a rounded character.
Yeah.
Most of the time when I'm watching that, I'm not even thinking of her feminine side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of the problems that she has gone through, and
Exactly. And
You don't
that is
see
a
her as a-
testament to her
Yeah.
to the writing.
Mhm.
I mean, even her
And her
friend,
acting, so
Yes.
even
it's
her friend, I
portrayal.
guess. I forgot her name, but I guess she becomes Hellcat later.
Yeah.
It's like even I mean that whole that was a complicated relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rougher, more complicated character than what she was
Right.
ever portrayed in the comics. So.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing with I was going to say Alias. The same thing with the Jessica Jones. That she is a lot more fleshed out in the Netflix series than what she was, at least in the Aliases that I read. Because the first thing they did is have Luke Cage grab her, turn her over, and violate her from behind because she could take it.
Hey. You can't say anything about that. It's one of the healthy interracial comics. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, that's great. Hey, I'm gonna abuse you. Is that okay? Yeah, fine. Yeah,
Granted, the problem is these male movie executives were scared to put the time, money, energy into making a good woman superhero movie, so they do half-ass jobs. When it bombs, they blame it on the fact that she's female. Speaking mostly of Elektra and Catwoman.
Oh, executives are weird because it's kind of like when John Carter of Mars flopped because of no marketing. They blamed it on the fact that they had to take the word Mars out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's because it took place on Mars. Like they just come up with everything,
Yeah.
And John Carter is such a plain name.
Yeah.
That you couldn't really pull any marketing off it. Yeah. Whatever they have to do instead of trying to build up the icon. Right. With oh gee, I think I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
I was going to make a point about Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But
the suspicious usage of the word feminist icon.
Yeah.
Which in the end I don't really know what the term even means.
The movie executives, yeah. When Marston went in and pitched Wonder Woman, originally as Suprema, the Wonder Woman, MC Gaines looked at the character and said, "Hell no," because women don't sell. They don't sell comics because they had tried. They hadn't really tried, but they had watched other female superhero characters just go down in flames. Miss Fury, and then MC had to point out, well, you've got a Tarzan imitation you guys over at Fiction House are doing called Sheena, and she's a strong, a forceful female character, and she sells incredibly well. We need to do the same thing over here, but turn her into a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of a Tarzan ripoff, and that's how he ended up selling the idea to MC originally.
We are out of time.
She might have never come out.
Yeah.
And you run that comparison with the Black Widow movie. Once Black Widow was out, everybody was screaming for her to have her own movie.
Right,
because Catwoman had come out and Elektra had come out, especially Elektra, and it didn't pull down the numbers that they were expecting. They weren't going to do Black Widow.
Yeah, they now they have to. Well, it's filmed. Then they got to put it out now. I think they should just sneak it up on Disney Plus. Just say, it's there. Go ahead and check it out.
That's a movie that if they put it up on Disney Plus for $30 extra, I'd pay it.
Yeah.
Well, even Milan now is free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mulan's garbage though.
Yeah. I think they got riddled enough, so they're like, just put it up there for free.
Yeah.
Walk over this way and see if anybody notices.
Uh-huh.
They're like going through at Disney Plus, and we're like, Milan's $30. Don't hit that.
Yeah.
Nope, popped right up for watch it now.
And that's a movie that they tried to do the whole strong female character thing, and it was utter garbage.
Yep.
Meredith, where can they find you at, man?
You guys can find me at MEREJ99. Just do a Google search of that, and I'll pop up all over the place.
Sweet. Miss Daphne Lage.
You can find me at talltalesonline.com and egoworks.com, where you can read both of my comics for free and sign up to get regular updates about my upcoming Kickstarters. And if you're also into art tutorials, demos, and the occasional rant and commentary, you can find me on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage Art.
I want to bring up the thing that Grant says. He says, I remember when I was a kid, the toy store had to special order a Wonder Woman action figure for me because they didn't think boys would play with female toy. I remember that, and I remember being very upset about the way my female action figures would sit because they had hips. They all, whenever they would sit down, their legs were like this. and I would get so upset because their legs wouldn't close. It was horrible.
It was a whole thing.
It was horrible.
You had a lot of odd trauma in your youth.
A lot of odd trauma. Yeah. Randy, where can they find you at, sir?
You can find me on Facebook under Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on Twitter under Randy Zim. You can find me at the Zim Geek channel over on YouTube. Please go over there, like and subscribe. I don't put up videos very often anymore because I'm busy doing other things, but I will put more videos up there shortly. And while you're over there, please go over to the Indie Volt channel as well, Indie VOLT, and like and subscribe there. We can use all of the subscribers over there we can possibly get our hands on, where we really want to get up to 1,000 subscribers so that we can take super chats on them chats over there and help Varian pay for his broadband payments and worry about our content. So.
And get yelled at by YouTube. What did you say?
Yelled at, yes, exactly.
We're
demonetizing you, but we're still running ads.
Yeah.
And I wanted to point out with the YouTube Indie Volt channel, if you go there, you're going to see at the very top, you're going to see these 3 guys featured up there. So all you have to do is head over to Indie_Volt on the YouTube channel, and you can hit the subscribe button for all of them.
Yes. Meredith's been doing fantastic work over on the station, cleaning it up for me because I just it was a mess, wasn't it, Meredith?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Tidying here and there.
Guys, me and Randy will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for the Indie Vote Breakfast Buzz, and Randy, will you be there tomorrow morning? You got?
Why wouldn't I be? I might not. Now that I should be there. But we're getting a Christmas gift delivered tomorrow. So
I was thinking about the gift you got today.
Oh no, that's I can't go to the hospital because of this bug thing.
Yeah.
But we're hoping the daughter is going to come and spend a couple days with us as soon as she's out of the hospital until she gets better because it was a cesarean.
Well, congratulations.
And bring the baby. The baby's almost 20 inches long.
Yeah.
The baby's only 20 years old.
I have long, skinny babies.
It's just born, and it's like, how wide? Yeah, when she was born, she was having trouble with her leg twitching. They had to go get a specialist to come out because they thought maybe there was neurological or something. It's like, no, she's been cramped up for so long. She's putting that leg out and going, where's mom?
Where's the wall?
Yeah, where's the wall?
Grandpa's Glenn Ford. Hey, Glenn.
It's gonna be
Grandpa's Comic Con says congrats on new edition, Randy. And
thank you. I didn't do any work, so it's not me at all.
Yeah,
all my work got done 30 years ago. So.
I'm waiting for my grandbaby.
Yeah, not because this is very looking good, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm looking really bad. I'm about to actually get out of here and go to sleep because I got to get up in the morning. I've been up running around, guys. Thank you for watching. Lola will hopefully be back with us next week. Hopefully, if not, we'll force her to
wing it again. We'll wing it again.
Yeah,
exactly.
We'll get Varian to do the shoe cam.
Yeah, I'll do the shoe cam. I'm gonna get some nice. Until then,
I'm sure there's a market for men in high heels. It's just got to be some kind of fetish thing, right?
Probably.
Gross.
But we don't want to think about that yet.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, next week. Good night, everybody. Me and Randy will see you tomorrow morning.
Take care, everybody. Stay healthy.